Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I'm the lead beat writer for Arizona State Sun Devils on SI, and I am so grateful to be joining each and every one of you today, as I have every day leading up into the beginning of the 2025 Arizona State Sun Devils season. Obviously, there is immeasurable hype surrounding the Arizona State program currently. They were ranked number 11 in the preseason coaches poll, and the AP poll is set to drop on Monday morning at 9 a.m. Arizona time, so just a few days away from that. There is so much to be excited about with this team. As I have been reporting from practices, there are numerous players that have been standouts through multiple days of practice, according per what I've seen from everything I've seen. There's been uh, players that weren't even expected to really break out that have been breaking out so far in camp, and it's just a testament to the roster that Kenny Dillingham has built. It's deep, it's faster than last year, it's stronger than last year, more connected than last year, and you obviously have to let it play out on the field. But as of right now, I believe, in my estimation, that Sun Devil fans should feel very, very confident in this team. And at the forefront of that is head coach Kenny Dillingham. Dillingham took over, obviously, in November of 2022, replacing Herm Edwards and putting that era of Sun Devil football behind everyone involved. It was a very difficult era, very miserable for a lot of fans, and it really disengaged a lot of fans, and that's something that Dillingham had to do once he took over the Arizona State program. He had to not only bring in a roster that fit his vision, he had to hire a coaching staff that fit his vision and was on the same page as him. He also had to re-engage a fan base that had really been led astray by the Herm Edwards era. By the time Herm Edwards was fired and by the end of the 2022 season, you were lucky to see Mountain America Stadium at 37,000 capacity, and the stadium holds about 54,000, so that's well short. You were not filling up the stands. People were dismayed, disgusted, any really word you could use to describe negative feelings towards the football program. The Dillingham hire changed that all. From the very first day that he took the job, he made it very, very clear that he was passionate about the program, that it was his dream job, that he wanted to get the fan base re-engaged, and he's done just that. He's done everything he said he was going to do. He's found ways to keep the student body to at games for the duration of the game, because it's become a problem that it's a notorious problem that students leave at halftime of most games. He's done a good job of doing that. He's done a great job of reigniting the alumni base. He's gotten season ticket holders back at a large rate. There's just a lot to be excited about when it comes to his leadership in that front. But also as a football coach, he this is really the segue into today's episode. The meat of today's episode is Kenny Dillingham the best coach in the Big 12? According to a lot of people, he is. According to some, he's still behind coaches such as Iowa State's Matt Campbell, Utah's Kyle Whittingham, even Kansas State's Chris Kleeman. Um, and I suppose all those are fair because those guys have been doing it longer. They have a longer track record. But to me, if you're speaking about right now in the present in 2025, nobody's getting more out of their program than Kenny Dillingham is out of Arizona State. Nobody's getting more out of their team than Kenny Dillingham is getting out of his team. Maybe you could argue Indiana's Kirk Cignetti last year, but even then, Arizona State faced a tougher road to get to the college football playoff than Indiana did. even though the Big Ten is considered a stronger conference in the Big 12, it still ended up shaking out that way. But you look at Kenny Dillingham's 14-12 record 2 seasons in, it's very, very misleading. The 3-9 season was one that was marred with a lot of injuries, a lot of offensive inconsistency, and they did get blown out a couple of times, specifically the 55-3 loss to Utah on the road. But overall, they competed. They competed against Washington when Washington had a national title caliber season. They competed with Colorado, the reinvigorated fan base up there under the guidance of Deion Sanders. They competed in a lot of games in 2023, not last season. And they springboarded into 2024, and you look at Kenny Dillingham. He nailed Sam Levitt in the portal. He nailed Jordan Tyson in the portal. He nailed Clayton Smith in the portal. There have been so many players that he has absolutely unequivocally gotten right, and I'm not sure if you can say that for any other coach in the Big 12 at that rate. I really am not sure. Maybe Kansas State, maybe. But yeah, you can. It's going to be interesting to see how this year shakes out in the Big 12 because Arizona State still is the front runner to repeat as champions according to the majority of people that are involved pundit-wise. But Dillingham will have his hands full. He's going to be squaring off against Joey McGuire's squad that is absolutely stacked with transfer portal talent. So that's going to be a litmus test game. The Utah game against Kyle Whittingham. Last year, Dillingham made his mark against Whittingham. This year, Whittingham brings back the best defensive line and offensive line in the conference, along with an upgrade at quarterback. And the game is up in Salt Lake, so it's going to be an absolute rubber match. That's another litmus test. And then Iowa State, the rematch of the Big 12 title game from a year ago. Matt Campbell has to replace Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel at receiver from last season, but Iowa State still should be incredibly competitive. And trip up to Ames will not be an easy game, but Dillingham has the upper hand on all these guys if we're speaking in terms of right now, August 7th, 2025. Nobody's doing what Kenny Dillingham is doing in terms of the scope of his coaching job. Taking over a 3-win program that faced significant NCAA sanctions, bringing in a completely new coaching staff that really you have done a phenomenal job retaining, managing relations with the fan base, with the alumni base, continuing to be innovative when it comes to improving the NIL sphere, when it comes to improving the infrastructure of Sunday football, whether it's talking about the practice facility, anything in between. The pro development, the development that has gone on within the program, player-wise, the system that he's brought in has really been revolutionary. The ability to take a team that was projected to finish dead last in the conference and coach them up into winning the conference and narrowly beating Texas, that takes a special coach. And all respect in the world to the Kalani Sitakis, the Kyle Whittinghams, as I mentioned, the Sonny Dykes of the world. But none of them are stacking up to Kenny Dillingham at this moment in my mind. And the proof is in the numbers that I have been sharing, the arguments that I've been sharing. It's just hard to deny Kenny Dillingham at this point in 2025 and moving forward. And Arizona State fans should be so grateful that the alumni is leading the program. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I could not do this without each and every one of you. And before I get off of today's show, please follow me on X/Twitter at KHicks_21. Your support means the world to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.